people understand, but the Tesla Model 2 was never just a promise of a cheap car. What's brewing behind the scenes at Tesla is something far more ambitious. An entry-level vehicle loaded with technologies that, until recently, were exclusive to premium and experimental projects. Everything indicates that Elon Musk is about to take what worked with the Cybertruck and the RoboTaxi, two essentially futuristic projects, and adapt it to the everyday needs of an affordable car. The result? A Model 2 that might cost just $25,000, but that hides much more daring engineering than meets the eye. Starting with Autopilot, rumors indicate that the Model 2 will receive an optimized version of full self-driving. Not just a standard autopilot, but a leaner, smarter system, perhaps even trained by Dojo, Tesla's super AI. This technology was extensively tested in the RoboTaxi program, precisely because it relies on 100% autonomous navigation. And now, the idea is to transfer this capability to a popular model, reducing hardware costs and focusing on software efficiency. The bet is that the new version will be able to operate with fewer sensors and greater reliability in urban areas. The big change, however, lies in the construction approach. Tesla has already made it clear that the Model 2 will use techniques derived from the Cybertruck, such as gigacasting, those mega-cast parts that replace dozens of smaller components. However, in the case of the Model 2, the secret lies in scale. What was an efficiency experiment in the armored pickup truck will be an industrial revolution in the urban hatchback. A simpler, lighter, and cheaper-to-produce structure, capable of accelerating overall manufacturing. In other words, it's not just the car that's cheaper, it's the entire process that's been reprogrammed. Another little discussed detail is the 48-volt electrical backbone, also inherited from the Cybertruck. This new system reduces wiring weight, increases energy efficiency, and, as a bonus, allows for the inclusion of new electronic features with less impact on the battery. The Model 2, it seems, will be the first entry-level vehicle to operate with this architecture, something the competition isn't even considering yet. And if Tesla decides to standardize this across its assembly line, it's possible that the entire next generation of electric vehicles will use the same system. A silent step forward. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of all lies in the communication between systems. In the RoboTaxi program, Tesla has been internally testing a form of constant, near real-time vehicle-to-network connectivity, with updates on traffic, weather, routes, and efficiency. This collective intelligence of cars could be partially implemented in the Model 2. Imagine a car that learns from other cars on the road, exchanging information to avoid congestion or optimize energy use. This mobile neural network may sound like science fiction, but it's quietly being developed. Wireless connectivity, in fact, should extend to more practical features, such as automatic pairing with chargers, access via mobile phone, and even face unlocking. And all this without requiring expensive components. Tesla learned with the Cybertruck how to save space and integrate sensors efficiently. The Model 2 should feature minimalist versions of these solutions, optimized to keep the price low without sacrificing the futuristic touch that made the brand famous. The car may be compact, but the intelligence built into it won't be small. And while the Model 2's exterior is more understated, the interior is where things change. Expect an even more minimalist cabin, with few physical buttons and everything centralized on a single screen, like the RoboTaxi. The interface would be based on quick commands, personalized by AI, and adapted to each user's driving style. And most intriguingly, the dashboard might not even need a traditional cluster. With AI monitoring everything, the driver could receive suggestions, reminders, and routes based on previous behavior, almost as if the car knew them. Combining Cybertruck parts, RoboTaxi brains, and the cost of a city hatchback, the Model 2 is beginning to take on a new form. A small car that thinks like a giant, packing elite technology disguised under an affordable price tag. And this contrast between what's visible and what's hidden could be precisely what will attract a new generation of drivers to the electric world. A car that looks simple, but delivers more than anyone expected. Few have noticed, but Tesla has been quietly preparing a revolution in the way electric cars are charged. And the Model 2 will be the gateway to this new system. The key piece of this change goes by the name Multipass, a feature that, at first glance, seems simple. Use your Tesla card to pay at any public charger. But in practice, what's being designed is an ecosystem that transforms the car into a wallet, the charger into a point of sale, and the Tesla app into a control center. All this without having to open dozens of apps, create new accounts, or deal with QR codes. Multipass appeared discreetly, hidden within the code of Tesla app version 4.47.0, and was soon seen working in the Netherlands. The idea is that Model 2 owners and other future models can charge their cars at third-party stations simply by tapping their Tesla card against the charger. The charge amount appears in the Tesla app, along with the charging history, as if it were an official supercharger. In other words, drivers don't even need to worry about which network they're charging at. For them, everything works the same way: fast, seamless, and familiar. For those who plan to use the Model 2 as their daily driver, this convenience can be decisive. After all, it's a car designed for the mass market, where every second counts, and the experience needs to be hassle-free. No one wants to download 3 different apps just to charge the car in 3 different locations. And that's where Multipass comes in. Simply activate it once in the app, tap the card on an NFC reader, and voila! It's ready for use at any compatible location. It seems small, but it's the kind of detail that changes everything in the daily routine of an urban driver. And Tesla's plan goes beyond convenience. With Multipass, the company begins to centralize control over the charging experience, even on networks it doesn't own. This means that, indirectly, Tesla is turning third-party stations into part of its own ecosystem. This way, the Model 2 will be able to give the feeling of an infinite network of Tesla chargers around the world, even if they aren't Tesla-owned. It's like using your credit card anywhere, but with the benefits of a closed, intelligent system behind it. Furthermore, Multipass opens the door to unusual commercial partnerships. Companies interested in attracting Tesla drivers can adapt their chargers to accept the card, and perhaps even offer bonuses, discounts, or integration with loyalty programs. The car becomes a link between the consumer and local businesses, paving the way for a range of possibilities beyond refueling. Coffee shops, markets, gyms, any business can become a useful stopping point for a Model 2 owner. Another nearly invisible but powerful advantage is the ability to remotely control the battery via the app. If the user forgets their card at home, or if the car is being used by someone else, they can still start charging remotely. This is especially useful for families or ride-sharing services, where the car travels with multiple drivers. And because everything is recorded in the Tesla app, the owner maintains full control over consumption, expenses, and charging locations, without the need for spreadsheets or separate accounts. Tesla is also adjusting the system to work well in different markets. In Europe, where charger access rules are more open, Multipass already fits naturally. In the United States, infrastructure adjustments and partnerships will be necessary, but the process has already begun. It's a strategic move. If Tesla dominates the charging experience even outside its own network, it redefines what it means to own a Tesla, no matter where you are or how much you paid for it. That's why Multipass could be more than a feature. It could be the invisible link between the Model 2 and the promise of a future where everything works with a single touch. No passwords, no paperwork, no friction. A simple card that turns any charger into an extension of Tesla. And this could be just the beginning. What seemed like a simple improvement to the charging system actually reveals itself to be a much more ambitious plan. Transforming the act of recharging an electric car into something as simple as connecting to your home Wi-Fi. With Multipass opening its doors, Tesla is now moving on to a second strategic move, turning the entire global charger network into part of its own experience. The idea is clear: to make Model 2 owners, even outside the supercharger network, feel like they're always part of the Tesla universe. And this feeling comes not just from the card, but from a series of features that have already quietly begun to be integrated. The first piece of this puzzle was allowing businesses to purchase and install Tesla chargers at their own locations. Tesla provides the hardware, the company customizes the experience, and all Multipass-compatible cars can charge there as if they were at an official supercharger. This completely changes the landscape. Coffee shops, hotels, gyms, convenience stores, all can become Tesla points, even without being owned by the brand. It's as if the Tesla ecosystem is quietly spreading beneath the current global charging structure. This planned decentralization doesn't mean a loss of control. Quite the opposite. Tesla maintains control through NFC technology and the app. Each session, even at third-party locations, is recorded, with tracking of values, location, time, and efficiency. And with the Model 2 being a car designed for high-volume, everyday use, this kind of integration is essential. The experience needs to be seamless, fluid, and universal. This is what will make ordinary drivers, without any affinity for technology, feel at home driving a Tesla. But it doesn't stop there. The company is beginning to integrate third-party chargers directly into the vehicle's internal maps. This means the Model 2 will be able to display Multipass-compatible stations on the car's navigation system, including data such as real-time availability and wait times. This feature has already begun testing in Europe, where regulatory liberalization facilitates this type of connection. In the United States, this integration is gradually being adjusted, but it is expected to become standard in all markets where the Model 2 will be sold over time. And there's more. Tesla is also developing a system virtual queue, which will allow drivers to join the queue for a charger directly from the app without having to physically wait at the location. This solves one of the most common problems in large urban centers: the frustration of arriving at a charger and having to wait in the car for 20 minutes. With the virtual queue, the Model 2 alerts you when it's time to go, optimizing the driver's time and avoiding unnecessary crowds. Simple, yet ingenious. Another detail that demonstrates Tesla's commitment to user experience is the signage at sites with paid access or valet parking. Before arriving at the location, drivers will know if there are any additional charges, service requirements, or any other logistical details. This avoids unpleasant surprises, especially for those using their car daily, in new locations, and who rely on speed. Tesla doesn't just want to make charging easier, it wants to eliminate any friction that disrupts the everyday driver's routine. And because Multipass transforms the Tesla card into a kind of universal key, the possibilities go beyond recharging. In the future, the same card could serve as a payment method at Tesla diners, partner cafes, stores, and even mobility services. It would become a link between the driver and the Tesla ecosystem, functioning as a digital wallet and personal identification at the same time. The technology is already ready. Now it's just a matter of regional activation and gradual adoption, starting, of course, with Model 2 owners. It's this kind of integrated vision that transforms the Model 2, from a popular car into a symbol of technological transition. A car that doesn't rely solely on good range or futuristic design, but on an invisible network that follows it wherever it goes. Tesla doesn't just want to sell cars, it wants its cars to behave as part of an intelligent, living, and ever-expanding system. Charging a car without touching any cables sounds like something out of a futuristic movie, but Tesla almost made it happen with the Cybertruck. The idea was simple: park, get out, and let the magic happen. And indeed, Early Cybertruck prototypes were developed with connectors for this wireless technology, which used a pad installed on the ground and transmitted power via induction to the stationary vehicle. But behind the scenes, testing revealed a difficult barrier to overcome: height. The distance between the Cybertruck's chassis and the ground was so great that the energy loss made everything incredibly inefficient. Result? The idea was shelved. But the project didn't die. It simply changed direction. Instead of insisting on a tall vehicle like the Cybertruck, Tesla redirected its efforts to platforms with lower ground clearance, like the new Cybercab, the all-electric RoboTaxi, with a uniform height and ideal structure for this type of inductive charging. In an autonomous fleet that runs 24/7, the need for fast, convenient, and human-free charging is obvious. And it's precisely in this controlled environment that Tesla has been quietly refining its wireless technology, paving the way for something bigger. And that's where the Model 2 comes in. Low, compact, and designed for urban use, it offers exactly the ideal scenario for implementing the technology that didn't work in the Cybertruck. With a shorter distance between the car's base and the ground, the efficiency of inductive charging increases dramatically. Tesla knows this and has been working to make this feature viable for the average consumer. Imagine parking in a spot at the supermarket or at home and, without touching anything, your car begins charging itself. That's the level of convenience being tested. Besides its convenient height, the Model 2 has another advantage: the need to simplify the user experience as much as possible. Because it's a car designed for those migrating from combustion to electric vehicles, the goal is to minimize friction. Cables, buttons, apps, none of that. If you can park and walk away without thinking about charging, even better. This is precisely where wireless charging comes in handy. A feature that disappears from everyday life, but delivers value with every use. Induction technology also has another advantage: less physical wear and tear on connectors. In large urban centers, where cars are plugged in and out daily, component durability is a real concern. With the wireless system, this routine wear and tear disappears. There's no friction, no broken connectors, no risk of shocks or voltage drops caused by poor connections. This reduces maintenance costs, increases reliability, and improves the experience for everyone, including drivers who have never used technology before. And unlike other automakers that treat wireless charging as an optional luxury, Tesla may be on the verge of making it a silent standard. Integrated into the Multipass ecosystem and the car's navigation system, the system would automatically know where induction pads are available, whether they're active, whether they're part of the Tesla network, and how much time remains to complete charging. All of this is displayed in real time, on the car's dashboard or in the app, without the need for manual interaction. It's automation applied in detail, the car taking care of the tedious part while the owner gets on with life. Interestingly, the Cybertruck's temporary abandonment of wireless charging served as a learning experience. What seemed like a failure became the technical foundation for something greater. Mistakes with height, power, efficiency, and alignment led to the creation of a smarter, more modular system, which is now beginning to take shape in the right place. An affordable, practical car with global appeal. The Model 2 wouldn't just be the first Tesla with wireless charging, it would be the world's first affordable car with this technology integrated. Tesla is now expected to activate this feature in phases, first in markets with good infrastructure, then in strategic urban areas. And as the pads spread, quietly installed in parking lots and homes, wired charging could become a thing of the past, especially for those who chose the Model 2 as their first electric car. When Tesla announced it would launch a $25,000 electric car, many assumed it would simply be a simpler model, pared down in every way: power, range, and features. But little by little, it's becoming clear that the Model 2 won't just be the cheapest, it'll be the most strategic. What's behind this launch is a paradigm shift. Tesla doesn't want to compete solely on price. It wants to redefine what's possible for that price. And if the plan works, the Model 2 could become the new standard in the global market.